Young Junk!
So what else is going on, Lynn?
We have... Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Tribble. And as always, I am joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are reviewing a doozy and a half for you. It's Vincent's selection tonight on the mission, and he has us traveling back to the year of 1972, revisiting the work of one of our most controversial, but begrudgingly one of our favorite performers.
Absolutely.
It is Bill Cosby, alongside his sidekick, Robert Culp, in 1972's Hickey and Boggs.
Yeah.
Directed by Robert Culp. Written by Walter Hill.
Walter Hill.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about crime noir here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
With Bill Cosby.
Yeah, right. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't seem to match, does it? We'll see. Tonight here on The Mission as we stream live from Young Junk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace here in Philadelphia, PA, to all points north, south, east, and west, including Facebook. We're also streaming to Twitter or X. Your mileage may vary.
I'm going to call it Twitter.
And our home, away from home, YouTube, where each and every one of you are out there watching us in the chat. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all. Good evening, one and all.
Vincent, how are you doing, my friend?
I am fine. I'm good.
Yeah? How was your weekend?
Not bad. Not bad at all, you know.
We've got a packed show.
Quiet. Yeah, sure.
But I would be remiss if I
Okay.
did not take a moment to ask you, Vince, huge sci-fi head.
I am. Absolutely.
And huge fan of Dune.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Did you make your way to the cinema to see Dune 2?
I did. I'm laughing because you said I'm a huge Dune fan. And my brother has been teasing me all weekend.
Really?
About how I forced him to watch the David Lynch.
The original?
The David Lynch Dune over and over again when we were teenagers. Because I was low-key obsessed with it.
Wow, that's a hard movie to be obsessed with.
That's what y'all keep telling me. The theatrical cut is an abomination. But his cut, his 3+ hour cut.
Oh, okay.
That's the one.
Okay. Dune the series.
Dune.
So what about Dune 2?
Look, I enjoyed it. Like it is a visual masterpiece. Like it really is a film that you realize some films need to be seen on a large screen.
Okay.
You know, Denis
Villeneuve.
Yeah, Villeneuve. His direction is amazing.
Are you a Timothy Chalamet fan?
You know, I liked him in like The French Dispatch.
Okay.
And I liked him on that episode of Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
So like I'm not that familiar with his work, but he does fine in here.
You liked him in the first Dune.
I liked him in the first Dune. But Dune, it's funny, before we start broadcasting, you and I were talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And you have these sort of classic sci-fi text that a lot of times show their age. And, truth be told, Dune is about this far removed from Tarzan with the white savior stuff and this, that, and the other. But it's always kind of been like the Tropic Thunder debate, where people get mad at Robert Downey Jr. So, he has on blackface. And then the retort is, well, he has on blackface, but it's really a critique of blackface.
Right.
But then the retort is, nah, you just found a loophole to do blackface. And that's always kind of been Dune. Like, Dune is very much this white savior figure. And I've been saying, it's like skinny white boy space Jesus. And he goes to this planet that it's absolutely not Muslims and Arabs at all. There's the oil that the West needs. The spice.
That's right. It's the spice
that the Imperium needs to travel, and it's like the location of this great conflict, and then Timothy Chalamet's Paul Atreides comes, and it's the whole story about whether or not he is the skinny white boy space Jesus that has been prophesized. And there's critique in there about not falling for this. Both, and Frank Herbert, who wrote the novel, in his defense, the critique is in the book. And the critique is in the movie if you're kind of paying attention. Like Zendaya's, her whole kind of thing basically is, this is kind of dodgy. Like y'all need to slow down a little bit with all this. And it's like, we have Middle Eastern actors, and we have these accents. And shut up, Zendaya. Shut up. Skinny white boy space Jesus is going to save us all. He's been prophesized. And she's like, I don't know, guys, this is kind of dodgy. So it's there if you're kind of paying attention at this critique. But speaking of science fiction, you and I have watched people miss the entire point of Starship Troopers for the past 30 years, how that was satire. And this is much more subtle than Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
So, Timothy Chalamet in the middle, and he's holding up the knife. And again, it's all these brown and North African, and we're not speaking Arabic at all.
That's right.
But it's like, and, we're not using the word jihad, but we're we're going to follow you. Ooh. And it's like, this. But I loved it. I mean, look, I'm a Dune dude. Like I said, my brother.
But I loved it.
My brother, quietly my boys, because I've been a Dune dude since, Dune's one of those books, if it catches you at the right time. Like you read Dune when you're like 13 and it blows your mind.
Okay.
It's like Dune or like Ender's Game or like Lord of the Rings. Like, wow, I've never read anything like this. So like, I'm a Dune guy. I think this is the best adaptation I've seen. I mean, hasn't been that many. There was that mini series a few years ago, and then again, just that
David Lynch,
and which is just bananas and bizarre. But it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. The acting is great. The special effects I thought were great. The costumes, the design. I think, again, as much of a critique as you can have built in to the story, you have, because again, not to get too nerdy, but like even the first novel, Frank Herbert basically was like, people kind of miss the point. Like skinny white boy space Jesus is not a good thing. Like y'all are saying it's a good thing, frankly, because you're racist and you think Jesus should be a skinny white boy from space. So y'all think, but like if you actually read the book, he's telling you this is not a good thing. And then, you know, it's like so, you know, you have Dune, and Dune becomes a phenomenon, the book. And then it's like 6-7 years later that he publishes the sequel, which I think is Dune Messiah that's first. It's either Dune Messiah or Children of Dune. No, I think Dune Messiah is the first sequel. And that's the book where he's basically saying Paul being skinny white boy space Jesus was not a good thing.
Right.
So, you know. But I loved it.
You loved it.
I loved it. I loved it.
And you said you might actually go see it again.
I am looking for a big screen. Like okay. You know, my daughter is out of town and she's coming back tomorrow actually. And you know, she's a Zendaya fan. So my brother just piped in. I'd see him. Damon, we're talking about Dune. So
he was trying to miss the Dune.
He was trying
to miss the Dune talk.
He may have been. Look.
I know they're gonna start off with Dune.
Look, man.
We waited for you, Damon. We waited for you.
Hey. If I'm 14 and you 9,
that's the rule.
You just got to watch what I watch.
That's the rules.
So
that's the rules.
Yes.
Right. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, that's cool.
The spice must flow.
It must. It must flow, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's going to flow all the way to you as we hear from the missionaries with their missives. Take it away, Dylan.
So what else is going on, Lynn?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, missives from the missionaries. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, missives from the missionaries.
Missives from the missionaries, Vincent. We have an email from Nick Nicholas.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Hello, Len and Vince, from a fellow missionary. I just want to say thank you both for putting me and maybe the other missionaries onto One False Move. That is such an intense movie. Cannot wait to listen to the review. Check it out, because there's...
Speaking about bleak noir.
Yeah, but intense.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just such a good movie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Last week I was listening to your review on A Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Okay.
And yeah, you both said the quiet part out loud. I always say Martin as a leading man does not work. For the most part, when you watch Martin Lawrence as a leading man in movies, one cannot help to think that it's literally the same shenanigans he does on his show with the same name. A Thin Line Between Love and Hate is a watered and unnecessary darker version of Boomerang. You have to keep this in mind. Martin Lawrence as Tyler in Boomerang was a minor character, so he decided to make this movie to have more shine while doing a piss-poor rendition of trying to be like Marcus Graham, suave, charismatic, but adding humor to his character. Thank you for your email, Nick.
Okay, Nick.
All right, Nick.
Yeah. Look,
say it with your chest, Nick.
Look, I say what I always say. If the people who like Martin, you know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
So you know, if you don't like Martin, you know what you're gonna get. Yeah. No surprises. No surprises
whatsoever. All right. We have another email from Michael Lockett.
What's up, Michael?
Michael Lockett, the subject line is the best top 5 ever. I wonder where this is going. Len and Vince, I love y'all.
All right. Love you too, Mike.
That top 5 from last week about top 5 brothers in soul. Oh, Lord. Had people all over the country screaming, oh, hell no. If there was ever a list to make black people get all up in their feelings. It's our music.
It's true.
I was wondering, however, with some of the more dubious selections, could or should any of the following take some of those out of the top 5? The Brothers Johnson.
I was thinking about the Brothers Johnson.
The Delphonics.
I don't think I knew until this exact second
There
that
are
were
a couple
siblings
brothers.
in the Delphonics.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Gap Band.
I don't think I knew that there were siblings in the Gap Band.
The Neville Brothers.
Well, it's right there in the name.
Guy.
Okay. All right.
Sly and the Family Stone.
Wait, who are the siblings in Sly and the Family Stone?
I don't think there's siblings in Sly and the Family Stone. I don't think there's siblings. I think there is family. I do think there's family. I think there's a couple of cousins, but I don't think there's brothers. I'm going to look them up because I actually thought about Sly and the Family Stone myself. But the Brothers Johnson and the Delphonics, which I do believe do have some siblings in it. The Brothers Johnson and the Delphonics, and to a degree, the Neville Brothers. I would contend, are not as successful in brotherhood as the acts that we had in the top 5.
Well, the Brothers Johnson definitely are because they famously stopped talking to each other.
Right.
And I feel like they
kind of like
they basically sabotaged their own career.
Right. I mean, because they could have continued, even if it wasn't as performers, they could have continued as writers.
Right.
You know.
Right.
The Delphonics, I mean, they had their time, but they didn't.
Sure.
The Gap Band is an argument.
Gap Band, yeah.
But all right, let's look up the Gap Band. Who are the siblings? I think that you know what? Now that I think about it, the other two.
Honestly,
No, it is. It's
honestly,
three brothers.
Just don't know.
It's Charlie, Ronnie, and Robert. They're all brothers.
Oh, I'm not a huge Gap Band fan, so.
I think you know what? I think I forgot that. I think I knew at one time that they were brothers and forgot.
Okay.
Okay, so do the Gap Band see like the Neville Brothers? I did think about the Neville Brothers, but I disqualified the Neville Brothers because Aaron kind of like branches off of them fairly quickly.
Sure.
And then he kind of reunions with them, but really it's all about Aaron.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
So that's why I didn't give them. Gap Band, they maybe give, Jagged Edge a run for 5th place. I just wanted to see your face.
I know. I'm not taking the bait.
I wanted to see your face. I just wanted to see your face. Now, Sly and the Family Stone, that is interesting. Okay. Sly and the Family Stone, it is Sly, his brother Freddie, and his sister Rose, and then it's the rest of the band.
Wait, who is Rose? I thought the only
She's a keyboardist.
I thought the only sister in Sly and the Family Stone was old girl on the trumpet. Oh boy, I'm learning all kinds of things.
You talking about Cynthia Robinson?
Yeah.
No, the keyboardist was Rose, his sister. So, you know what? And that's why I didn't conclude.
Because you said brothers.
Because it was strictly the brothers.
You said brothers.
And that was the reason. I knew there was a reason why I didn't
Right.
select Sly and the Family Stone. So that would disqualify them. And Guy, come on, get serious.
I mean, if you want to talk about influential, though.
Yeah, but the brothers only actually did the 2 albums after the first one, which is the big one.
Right.
The first album is not really the brother. He takes over and
Right.
does the touring,
Right.
but he didn't record the album.
Sure.
And he only records the 2 other albums. And really, the 3rd album is the one that came out like 20 years too late.
Sure.
So no.
Sure. I would say just my deep cut, like I wouldn't push for the Neville brothers, but when you realize that the Neville brothers are basically what happened after the Neville family took over the Meters, and when you think about how much the Meters influenced so much hip hop. I would make an argument for me, but that's just the music nerd argument.
And that's the music nerd argument and the influence that they had.
Sure.
It's still not speaking specifically about their career.
All right.
And what they achieved.
Well, the good thing about the list is it makes people discuss things. And I'm just glad everybody saw you.
Michael continues.
Troll me with Jagged Edge.
He continues, back on the film tip, listen to and rewatched After Earth.
Okay.
And the possible black film, The Blues Brothers.
Okay.
After Earth was a masterful okey doke for Jaden Smith. The film was entertaining, wasn't Oscar bait, and wasn't a miss with that bleep. It's always nice to see Afrofuturism, even when it's full of holes.
Yeah.
Others get to make film full of holes, so should we.
Look.
Good point.
Look. And it's pretty.
Yeah, it is
After
pretty.
Earth was pretty.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
The Blues Brothers, although a love letter to black music, specifically soul and R&B, is not a black film in my opinion. Other than the homage, the story is not centering blackness. That said, this film is among the best comedies of all time, maybe even top 5. I've been racking my brain to find 5 other comedies that could bump this from a top 5 that don't include stand-up. If you start throwing films like Delirious and Bigger, Blacker, and Deafer, it's not fair. Thanks again, and I hope you guys do another theme next February or revisit this one. It was intriguing. All the best, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Very good. Thank you. All right. So that was a good email, and I think we have 2 more emails, right? Or 3. We've got, that I selected.
Sure.
The ones that we selected here. Oh, we got from Michael Sykes.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
The Blues Brothers review, top 5 brother bands. People just got to, oh, well. Hey, Len and Vincent, I listened to your podcast episode review of the Blues Brothers, and may I say it was honest and a great review that the 2 of you did. If the Blues Brothers movie were a person, they would be that type of white person you would invite to a cookout and everyone would be cool with. They also fried chicken better than some black folks. Not every black person can fry chicken. Not every black person can fry chicken, but I've yet to meet a white person that can fry chicken better than any black people that I know.
It's true.
He continues.
We've not met all of the white people.
We've not all the black people.
Nor all of the black people. But in your experience.
In my experience. Have you come across
In my experience as well.
Very good. I also listened to Len's top 5 brother bands or groups. It was okay. But you didn't have an honorable mention of these groups or bands that were formed by brothers. Well, you can't list every honorable mention.
Can't list all of them. Who did he miss?
Such as Levert.
Levert? I mean, how many albums did Levert have?
They probably what, maybe 2, 3?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Before Gerald
rolls off.
Solo, yeah.
You know? Tony.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Tony, yeah.
That's a good one. LTD. Yeah, but LTD, that was really... What if I'm correct? Isn't LTD really all about Jeffrey Osborne? The way that Kool and the Gang. So I guess that would make them honor.
Well, LTD is definitely. When you say all about Jeffrey Osborne, you mean the
as far as like their hits. What you know of LTD for?
Right. He's lead on the hits.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not pushing back. I'm just saying. Like, let's be clear, folks. It was actually an early date with me and Wendy. Like she would like somebody bought some Jeffrey Osborne. Like, don't buy Jeffrey Osborne greatest hits. Buy LTD greatest hits.
Very true.
Like LTD is the Jeffrey Osborne.
That's prime.
Right.
Jeffrey Osborne.
Like that's love ballad. Jeffrey Osborne. You know, Can You Woo 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 is all right, but
it's love ballad.
You want love ballad.
Exactly.
So that's LTD. So I give LTD is like I would never say I think Kool and the Gang is lesser with JT.
Yes, I would agree.
I think LTD, I think Jeffrey Osborne is better with LTD than by himself, though.
Yes.
I'm not sure how these are all
but that makes sense because LTD is first and foremost a full band behind that powerful voice of Jeffrey Osborne, as opposed to him being in some studio with machines and everything behind him. But he's putting them as a brother group. Okay. Yeah, an honorable mention. So honorable mention.
Sure.
Sly and the Family Stone we talked about.
Sure.
Gap Band.
Sure.
Who Michael says is better than Jagged Edge. In fact, Jagged Edge did a remake of the song Wednesday Lover. Yes, they did. They did. I just contend that Jagged Edge had slightly a possibly better, more successful career. And he also mentions After Seven.
Yeah.
Which is the brothers.
Yeah.
Again, worthy honorable mention.
Yeah, and After Seven is a pretty nice band.
Well, group. I'm gonna call them a band.
Yeah.
And then what? No Delphonics? Y'all from Philly and don't mention the Delphonics? That's okay. Still an okay list though. Love your fan, Michael.
Hey, thank you, Michael.
I'm from Philly, but I call it like I see it.
And you were real disrespectful to the Whispers. Don't think I was gonna let you off the hook with that.
Oh, I wasn't disrespectful to the Whispers. I don't like the Whispers.
How do you not like the Whispers?
Easily. I don't like the Whispers. I don't like the Twins. I think they're overrated. They annoy me.
The Twins took your girl, didn't they?
No, they didn't take my girl.
The Twins took your girl.
Please. I could take both their girls.
Oh, I don't know.
Same night.
I don't know, Walter. And Scotty are rock steady.
Yeah, okay.
Steady rocking all night long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as I said, everybody's doing it. Like I said, we began to rock steady rocking all night. Everybody listening to me is now doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nobody want to rock steady. I'm not going to go there. This is a family show.
This is a family show. We try to keep PG-13.
No, I'm not down with the Whispers. I actually begrudgingly, like, what's the song?
Chocolate Girl.
No, Cloud Nine. It just gets better with time.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I begrudgingly like that song.
You don't like Olivia?
No.
That's like a Philly anthem. That and Chocolate Girl.
No. No. The Whispers annoy me.
They annoy you?
They annoy. I used to.
It's too much sexy in them two little men.
When you go, growing up in Philly, when you would go to the Man Music Center.
Loves the Whispers. It's the weirdest thing.
Them Whispers. And every time I would go.
Oh, that's what this is.
What?
You heard too much of them growing up.
Dude, because.
Where are they? Because the Whispers are from not Philly.
Yeah, they're not from Philly. But they would always appear with Frankie Beverly and Maze. And you had to sit through the freaking Whispers to get to Frankie Beverly and Maze. And I want Frankie Beverly. What you doing? You sending like flashes? What you trying to try to stroke me? You try to?
Yeah, it's Philadelphia obviously has such a deep, rich musical heritage. But y'all love the damn Whispers.
I don't understand it.
It's the weirdest
I do
thing.
not understand it. It annoys the.
Like you listen to the top 100 on like New Year's Eve. Oh yeah, I'm tapping into it now. Now I'm getting to the bottom of it.
Oh God.
And it's true. You listen to like the top 100 listeners' choice songs in Philadelphia, and it's always like Chocolate Girl or Olivia.
But there's other
Which little good songs.
There's other lesser hits sprinkled in there throughout the whole 100.
People in Philly love the Whispers. It's so true.
God,
it's the weirdest, and no one has ever explained it to me.
No, like you. Okay, you obviously like the Whispers. Do you love the Whispers?
I don't love the Whispers.
Exactly.
But
no, I don't.
Enough respect due. I get it.
I don't. Let's continue. Okay. Our last email. This is from Lisa Alexander.
Hey, Lisa.
Who I asked her not to do this.
What?
I asked her at the end of last week's show. I said, don't do this. The subject line, the Blues Brothers syllabus.
This should be good. Let's hear it.
Hello, gentlemen. I know that Len was explicit about not wanting a syllabus from me about why Blues Brothers isn't a black film, so I will respect that. Instead, I'm going to give you a syllabus on why I agree with you, Len, that Blues Brothers should be considered a black film.
Oh,
you know, I love myself some Lisa Alexander.
There you go. Let's hear it.
I love Lisa Alexander.
Let's hear it. First,
I think race is integral to the film's plot. The Blues Brothers engage in their hijinks to raise money for the orphanage. During the review, Len asked why the archdiocese didn't pay the back taxes, and if you watch the scene where Cab Calloway enlists the orphans to publicize the concert, you'll notice it's predominantly black and brown children. Something tells me the archdiocese would be less likely to let the taxes lapse if it was blonde-haired, blue-eyed white orphans living there. Preach, Lisa.
Okay.
Second,
you social commentary.
Both pointed out the care that John Landis used in filming the black artists and the deference Dan Aykroyd and Belushi had towards those same artists. This could have easily ventured into cultural appropriation or exploitation, but it didn't. One of the intended consequences of the film was to introduce old school R&B and soul artists to a new audience, which would put money in their pockets, and the film certainly did that. Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi made sure that the original artists retained publishing rights to all the music they performed, which means black people got paid and are still getting paid to this day. Yes.
You know that's a strong argument with me.
Third, during your review of Night of the Living Dead, you both remarked that while that film could be read with race in mind, it could also be read without it. I submit that black culture is the primary reason plot works. Think about it. An unknown band fills a 5,000-seat theater in the Chicagoland area with only a couple hours' notice. R&B soul music is the only genre where that happens. Music by black artists from the 50s and 60s is so ingrained in our consciousness that it makes the plot possible. This film may not center the black experience, but I don't think the film works without an admiration for black culture. And lastly, when the film was released, major film houses, and this was a point I actually thought about we didn't bring up on the show, so I'm glad she's pointing this out. When the film was released, major film houses wouldn't screen it because they said it was a black movie and white people wouldn't watch it. Infamously, the dude that owned the Mann Theater chain in California would only screen the film at the Compton location. And when John Landis asked why not Westwood, dude said because he didn't want black folks in Westwood. If the racists thought the film was black and worked that hard to keep it out of theaters and white communities, that tells you something. That's my syllabus in defense of Blues Brothers as a black film. I love this film particularly as a Chicago native and have always thought of it as a black film.
Okay.
P.S. I listened to your review of People Under the Stairs yesterday, and I definitely think you should submit it for award consideration. Vincent's son using the recorder to end the episode like Sandman Sims using the hook at the Apollo made my day. Chef's kiss, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you.
I forgot about that.
He's still out.
Yeah.
Still out. Today, this afternoon.
Yeah.
Wendy had a conference call. Adam, why are you so loud? Mommy's in the meeting. I'm not being loud. If I can hear you downstairs.
Oh, he's upstairs.
He's in his room. Our room is over here. I'm on the first floor. I hear him. What are you doing, man? I wasn't doing anything. You are too loud. Just loud. The boy is loud.
But he's a boy.
Yeah.
That's what boys do.
Apparently.
8 years old.
Yes.
Nah, leave him alone.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
That was a very good argument.
Has she changed your mind?
No.
What?
I can respect an argument and disagree with it.
You got problems. Anyway, that has been our Mrs.
I do like the fact that black folks is making money off of it, though. That's a strong argument.
That's a strong argument.
That's a strong argument.
And also equally strong argument, if the racists don't want it in their theaters, it probably is because it's a black film.
The racists think all kinds of things are black, though, because they're racist.
Including the Blues Brothers.
Right. They thought Elvis was black.
Yeah, but they ain't kicked. Elvis still was at the Westwood.
Yeah, true. All right.
They ain't think no Elvis was black.
They want to keep him away from their daughters. All that twisting and ringing and twisting.
Yeah, that's till he got his first hit. Then it was like, hey, Elvis, meet my daughter, Peggy Sue.
Oh, Lord.
Show him your knees. Anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You can have your voice heard here on the show. Send us an email at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUXMISSION@gmail.com. And don't forget, when you send your email, let us know where you're sending your email from. We'd like to know where we're reaching.
Yeah.
All right. If you thought last week's top 5 was good.
Now we got another one.
All
right, here we go. What we got?
It's top 5 time.
Top 5. Who's your top 5? My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is.
Top 5, ladies and gentlemen, where I come up with a list, I tell it to Vincent, and he gives us his scintillating commentary on it. This week, keeping in theme, Vincent.
Okay.
We are reviewing from 1972, Hickey and Boggs.
Yes.
So tonight's top 5 has to deal with other bites. So these are the top 5 bites of indistinction, such as a hickey might be a bite.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it. Hickey's like a bite. Got you. Okay.
On your neck.
All right. Now I got it. All right.
Okay.
Now I'm there. I'm with you. Let's go.
All right.
Now
we're going to get kind of like an honorable mention.
Okay.
But we're going to get it out of the way.
All right.
Because this is the one black film in this list.
Okay.
It's number 5 from 2021 is Forbidden Fruit, First Bite.
Okay.
Ladies' man Ronnie makes a bet with his friend Carrie that he can sleep with a popular girl from campus before she does.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the log line for Forbidden Fruit, First Bite, which is screening on Tubi somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read to you, Vincent, the review, one review on IMDb.
Okay.
Which is a user review.
Okay.
For Forbidden Fruit, First Bite.
All right.
OMG, I enjoyed watching this movie. I'm reading this verbatim. I enjoyed watching this movie. From the summary, it draws you in. It gave you different angles of where it could go. And of course, it give a cuff hanger at the end to know you want to stay tuned to what happened. It's like any other movie or books that have different parts to it. That's what makes it excitement. P.S. For the 2 reviews that were negative, which I didn't see.
Right.
Do not believe them.
Okay. All right. Do not believe them.
Because obvious, they missed the whole point of the movies, as well as not paying attention to what was going on. Their focus was more so how the quality of the movie was to know that most of those movies that is not in theaters are way better than what they call high quality movies that are played in theaters. And furthermore, they never understand in their English class through grade school the definition of a cliffhanger.
Shut up. He did not reference an English class.
Yes, he did. Yes. Yes.
Well, that is certainly a reader review.
That is a reader review for Forbidden Fruit.
For Forbidden Fruit.
First bite.
Just the black film on
That's the
list.
one black
This
film.
our contribution to the
This is
list.
our contribution to the top 5 bites of In Distinction.
Damn, I guess we can't all be Jagged Edge.
No, we can't. Now, the rest of these movies, they are bizarre.
Okay.
So in some of these, I'm only going to give you just the synopsis.
All right.
You tell me what you think. Whether or not this sounds like a movie you might need to check out.
I might need to check out what we got.
You know, sometimes I'll read the log line. You'll be like, yo, I sound good. I'm kind of interested.
I'm always up for a good movie or at least an interesting one.
So we'll go to number 4.
Number 4.
From 1977.
Okay, good year.
Which is the year they gave us Star Wars.
Yeah, we were just talking about Star Wars.
In that same year, you could go to the theaters and see Nuns That Bite.
Nuns That Bite. What's that about?
A woman on the run is raped,
God damn.
rescued,
Got dark. Okay.
then raped again.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Escaping, she heads for the hills and finds safe haven at a convent.
Okay.
After becoming a postulant, she catches her fellow sisters engaging in unholy activities
Oh my goodness gracious.
in the Asian cinema spectacular
Oh.
Nuns That Bite
Nuns That
from 1977.
1970s.
Is that getting your coinage
I'm not.
at the
I
Cinemaplex?
don't know if I am.
Can't do Nuns That Bite?
Can't do nuns. Multiple sexual assault, nunsploitation. I think I'll pass on this.
Going to pass on that one?
That one. So it's this and black bite that makes people write grammatically incorrect reviews.
Forbidden Fruit First Bite.
I'm gonna call it black bite
Okay, Black
because you
Bite.
said that's the only black one.
That's the Black Bite. All right.
All right. So what else we got?
Number 3.
Number 3.
From 1992.
Okay.
They Bite.
They bite. Okay.
Sea creatures
Okay. All right.
come to the shore,
All right.
attack,
All right.
and mate with humans.
Here we go. Really, Lynn?
Now, this does have a Black history component. For They Bite from 1992 is the final film role of comedian Charlie Barnett,
Oh.
who died the same year of the film's release.
Oh, Charlie.
We knew him well.
Oh, drugs are terrible.
Director Brett Piper said that Bill Lynx, one of the producers of They Bite, wanted him to make a movie with, quote, fish monsters and tits. After they wrote the script, Lynx complained, saying that they turned it into a comedy. Piper told him, "You asked for a movie about fish monsters and tits, and you expected me to take it seriously?"
Fair.
Apparently, Lynx wanted a movie more like Humanoids from the Deep,
Of course.
but Piper felt that that movie was altogether too nasty a movie for his taste,
Okay.
and thus gave him They Bite.
They bite. Okay.
Is that getting your coinage? Is sea creatures
So far, my coinage is safe.
safe in your pocket?
Safe coinage.
All right.
All right.
All right. We're going to go a little bit more recent now
Okay. All right. What we got?
for number 2
Number 2,
from 2013.
2013.
Chastity Bites.
Chastity bites.
In the early 1600s,
Okay.
Countess Elizabeth Bathory slaughtered more than 600 young women, believing that if she bathed in the blood of virgins, she would stay young and beautiful forever.
Sure. Sure.
Still alive today, she's found a perfect hunting ground for her quote unquote Botox as an abstinence educator in conservative America.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
And the young ladies of San Granento High, San Granento, which is Spanish for bloody, are poised to be her next victims. But with her unholy ritual finally, will her unholy ritual finally be stopped by Leah Ratliff, a feminist blogger and ambitious reporter for the school paper? Chastity Bites.
Chastity Bite. This might get me.
This might get you,
This
right?
one might get me.
This might make it to Charcuterie Friday.
Well, I don't know about Charcuterie Friday, but yeah, maybe.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how I'd sell this to the wife, but
You don't think that sells itself?
I don't know, maybe not. What's number one, Lynn?
Number one.
My coinage is safe thus far.
I think
This is the one?
this is the one that's going to have you reach.
This is the one.
Because I think you reached in your pocket for this one.
All right.
And this is from 1979.
Good year.
It's an American comedy horror film
Okay.
directed by Stan Dragati,
Okay.
written by
Maybe
Robert
didn't he?
Kaufman,
All right. No.
and using characters originally created by Bram Stoker.
All right.
It is none other
Dracula one.
than Love at First Bite.
Oh, yeah.
George Hamilton,
I was about to say George Hamilton.
Susan St. James,
Yeah.
Richard Benjamin, and Artie Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
When the communist regime of Romania ejects Count Dracula from his ancestral home, he and Renfield go in search of the current incarnation of Mina Harker, Dracula's true love. This incarnation is a fashion model who lives in New York City. Comedy ensues, ladies and gentlemen, when the incurably romantic Count finds it difficult to adjust to life in the Big Apple in the late 1970s, but true love triumphs in the end. The film's tagline is, "Your favorite pain in the neck is about to bite your funny bone."
Yeah.
Love at First Bite.
A perennial cable staple,
Yes.
which I guess perennial and staple are redundant.
Yes, definitely in the 80s.
Yeah. I watched this film a lot, like pieces of this film a lot.
I've watched it once.
I don't know if it holds up.
It does not hold.
Like in full disclosure, I don't know if I've seen it since I was like 15.
Like in totality.
In totality, because then Dune came out, Damon. Now it's time to watch Dune again.
Damon wanted to watch Nuns That Bite. He was just waiting for you to give up the remote so you could watch Nuns That
I
Bite.
thought you were going to say Once Bitten.
Yeah, but that's not quirky. I mean, that's not a bad movie.
Right. That's an actual film.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Love at First Bite is an actual film, too. It just doesn't hold up.
Yeah, right.
It's a little cringeworthy.
Sure,
If you
sure.
watch it now.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the deal was with George Hamilton.
Like just generally?
Like
just generally?
Because I watch old movies, right?
Yes.
So every once in a while, because he was far from a big star, but every once in a while, like a movie with young George Hamilton comes on.
Yeah, it's a good looking guy, I thought.
Good looking guy.
Yeah.
But you could definitely see he's cast as pretty much like the $3 Warren Beatty that he presents.
Sure.
And he actually is probably a $4.50 Warren Beatty. Like he is not. I don't get it. Like I don't think he's a good actor.
Funny that you're saying
He doesn't. I don't find him
Beatty.
very charming. I think he resembles. There's a resemblance between
Right.
him and a young Warren Beatty.
I always thought he was non-threatening Ricardo Montalban.
Oh no. Ricardo Montalban, quiet as kept, is like that dude electrifies off the screen. I have
Well,
watched.
that's why I said non-threatening. Like Ricardo Montalban is just a lot,
No, he's
especially when he was younger.
Yeah, but
And it's like it is too much.
George.
Get George Hamilton.
No, George Hamilton is no. You know who's less threatening? Ricardo Montalban. That's probably who's your boy from. I'm drawing a blank on his name from Enter the Dragon. John Saxon. John Saxon is less threatening.
Yeah, but see, Ricardo Montalban had that kind of Spanish.
Well, because he was Spanish.
Right, Hispanic feel.
George Hamilton ain't got nothing Spanish.
He always gets, maybe it was the tan.
Yeah, but that was later.
Yeah.
That's later. In his younger days, he's just a white guy.
Right.
He's just a white guy. He's a three. If you watch him, he literally is a $3 Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty. All right.
Yeah, and with none of the charisma. None of the talent.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the reason why he gets number one.
All right.
And honestly, this Love at First Bite and him taking over the Robert Duvall role in Godfather 3 is pretty much the crux of his film career. You know, because everything else is television and Love Boat.
Right. All right. Well, I liked Love at First Bite when I was a kid.
You did.
That's all I can do for you with this list.
That's all I could do.
All right.
That's my list, ladies.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
George Hamilton was awesome on the 18. That's not George Hamilton.
That's George Papard.
George Hamilton was awesome on the 18. Mm-hmm. That was our producer talking, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. All right. It's now time for the Game of Kings.
The Game of Kings.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
All right.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where I give Vincent 2 actors and he has 6 films or less to connect them to D'Urville Martin.
D'Urville Martin?
Superstar.
A gritty 70s dog-eared PI himself.
Yes, he is.
All right.
That's it. He's nobody's $3.
That's right.
Keeping it in theme, Vincent.
Okay.
We are going to be reviewing Hickey and Boggs.
Hickey and Boggs.
Tonight.
Yes.
So I've chosen 2 actors who have brief cameos. Well, not cameos. They're cast in Hickey and Boggs.
That I know?
Yes. And you cannot use Hickey and Boggs.
Well, I know one of them because when I looked it up, I was like, oh, I didn't even recognize it. I know you're not going to do Rosalind Cash or Isabel Sanford.
No.
Well, I guess if I shut up, you'll tell me who you're going to do.
Yes.
All right, go. Oh, this is interesting. All right, go ahead. Like from the cast? All right, go ahead. Who you got?
So in 6 films or less, connect D'Urville Martin, starting with number 1.
Okay.
James Woods.
See, I saw James, but I didn't even recognize him.
Because it's only his second role.
Yeah. James Woods, one of those dudes I feel like is always around.
Mm-hmm. Now you got to pull it. See, I can pull him easy from 2 films right off the top of my head.
Why do I see him in like a gangster thing? I feel like De Niro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's okay.
You're too close for me to help you.
No. All right. Well, look. Because I don't think it's Godfather 2, because I feel like he has on contemporary clothes. He's not in Goodfellas. Is he in Casino?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I just see him with, like, I feel like I see De Niro yelling at him, but he has on one of them weird long mafioso shirts.
De Niro?
Yeah, like that big collar with the tie underneath it. Mm-hmm. All right, okay. All right, so here we go. We were talking about this cohort of actors before we start taping. So D'Urville Martin is in Sheba Baby with Pam Grier. Mm-hmm. Pam Grier is, of course, in Jackie Brown with Robert De Niro. Mm-hmm. And then Robert De Niro is in Casino.
With
James Woods.
Yes.
All right.
Robert De Niro is also in Once Upon a Time in America with James Woods, which is another gangster film.
Interesting. But that's kind of old-timey.
It is old-timey. But so when you were saying gangster, I was like, just kind of too.
Can I tell you one of my great sins? My great cinematic sins? I think I've seen Once Upon a Time in America one time.
It's a long movie. It's 3 hours.
And if I'm doing big gangster, I mean, obviously I'm going to do Godfather. Mm-hmm. So.
Once Upon a Time in America is very, very good.
I was never going to pull anybody from that. So I'm glad he was in Casino.
It was very, very, Once Upon a Time in America is a film I watch maybe once every 5 years or so.
Okay. I know.
Sergio Leone.
Look, like I said, it's one of my cinematic sins. So now, who else is in here that I would? Who's next?
In 6 films or less.
I'm just curious now. Yeah.
Connect D'Urville Martin.
2.
Vincent Gardenia.
I have no idea who that is. Sebastian Handlewood. Because you said it with your chest.
Well, because he's a popular character actor.
Who is he in this?
He plays the older cop. There's an older cop with like glasses and hair kind of like slicked back. Almost feels like
Can I see his picture?
Let me get his picture for you. I don't know if this is not a great picture of him.
Theodore Justinson. Oh, that guy. Mm-hmm. What's his name?
Vincent Gardenia.
Okay. All right. I know him.
And he's been in movies.
No. I got him. Him I got. All right, because I remember because I was humming "Feed Me Seymour" when I saw him in this. Mm-hmm. Because D'Urville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams. Dick Anthony Williams is in The Jerk with Steve Martin, and Steve Martin is in Little Shop of Horrors with what's his name?
Vincent Gardenia.
Johan Jenkins?
No. Give the man his propers.
I'm sorry.
Vincent Gardenia, who played Mr. Mushnick in Little Shop of Horrors.
Vincent Gardenia.
No, he also plays the father in Moonstruck.
I don't remember that. I don't remember him. Okay. But I do remember Audrey eating his ass. It's dinner time. Feed me Seymour. Feed me all night long. I said, woo.
I don't believe you don't know, man. He's been twice nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Okay, for what? Was one of them for Little Shop of Horrors?
No, one of them was from Moonstruck.
Okay.
And the other one was back in 1973 for Bang the Drum Slowly.
Okay. I've never seen Bang the Drum Slowly.
I've actually never seen it either. I've only heard great things about the movie.
I know Audrey too ate his ass. Rick Moranis kept cutting his arm, trying to feed Seymour blood. Feed Audrey blood. Seymour kept cutting his arm, feeding Audrey blood. Audrey said, I need meat.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me, Seymour.
That's a good movie.
Oh, my goodness. Little Shop of Horrors is the best.
Yeah, that is a really...
I always think about that third woman who sings with Tisha Campbell and Tichina Arnold. Like, I always wonder about her. Like, where is she? I hope she's done well with herself.
Yeah, we don't know where she is.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. I mean, obviously she's around, but...
I'm sure she knows where she is.
Yeah, right. Like I said, hopefully she's done very well for herself because, I like them.
Speaking of checking people out, did you see that your girl's going to be on Questlove Supreme?
Yes.
Nika Noni Rose.
Nika Noni Rose. She should always be on podcast.
I know you're a fan of the show, so I'm sure.
Yeah. I think we can. Is she still a newlywed? Have they been married a year now? Newlywed, Nika Noni Rose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, happy for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin. It is now time for our review.
Yes.
Of Hickey and Boggs. Hickey and Boggs, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, is a 1972 neo-noir crime film written by Walter Hill, directed by Robert Culp, and starring Culp alongside his I Spy teammate, Bill Cosby. The plot: two weary, hard-luck private eyes, Al Hickey, Cosby, and Frank Boggs, Culp, are hired to find a missing woman. Their inquiries bring death to almost everyone around them,
None of this means anything.
culminating in a violent conclusion. In this film that also stars Rosalind Cash, blink and you'll miss her, Isabel Sanford, along with Robert Mandan from Soap fame, Michael Moriarty from Law and Order fame, Vincent Gardenia,
Yes.
or Vincent Gardenia
Because you said it with your chest when you said it.
from Moonstruck fame, And-
Shop ours.
James Woods
Yeah.
from Casino fame. And this cinema tour de force that was selected by Vincent for this stop on the mission. Vincenzo, what say you of Hickey and Boggs?
Well, this is a film I was not aware of at all until fairly recently, maybe, really less than 2 years.
How did it come across? You remember, like,
I don't even remember. I think you and I, as we do periodically, we're talking about Walter Hill. And I was just sort of poking around with Walter Hill. And as he mentioned, this is from a screenplay written by Walter Hill, actually his first screenplay.
Right.
And I am a big Walter Hill fan, whether we are talking about 48 Hours, whether we're talking about The Warriors, whether we're talking about Streets of Fire. I like his scripts. And as a script, this is a terse, lean script. Like, this is very much, like you said, the use of the word noir. Like, this is a terse, lean script, and these are all hard men. These are hard men throughout this film, speaking, to men that they have relationships that have been tested by battle and war. And this script sort of reflects that. As an early script, I think sometimes it's a little bit too terse. There were actually one or two plot points that I couldn't quite catch. And quite honestly, we'll talk about the acting. I do think the ease and chemistry between Robert Culp and Bill Cosby does some of the work that the script doesn't.
Yep, I'll give you that.
It's directed by Robert Culp. This is the only film he's ever directed. And I thought it was okay, with flashes of interesting things. Like he captures this early 1970s LA that is just run down. It is smoggy. It is dirty. It is grimy, and you get a real sense of place from Culp's direction. Culp also did some work in television, and I don't say this as a backhanded insult, but it did have the feel of an extended episode of one of these early 70s LA set procedurals that I love. Like, it's like this felt like a long episode of The Streets of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Or Mannix.
Yep.
And as I've said, this is like catnip to me. like these old 70s, again, hard men, hard situations. We don't express our emotions that much, so on and so forth. Also, liked the way it looked enough that I looked up who the cinematographer was.
Okay.
Like you know, when it comes to these technical aspects of these films, frankly, a lot of times I am from the school of thought of, if it doesn't distract me, I just
It did its work.
It just sort of did its work. And if it distracts me, it either distracts me because it's bad enough that I have to say, damn, like, who did this? Or it's good enough that I say, wow, I like the way that this looks. And sure enough, I looked up the cinematographer, and it is a cinematographer that we have talked about before that I really like, Bill Butler, who was the cinematographer for, among other things, Jaws and The Conversation. So I just really like the way it looks. The story itself is very much it is a standard hard-boiled story. You know, Hickey and Boggs are two, sort of downtrodden, threadbare private investigators who, through circumstance, get involved with trying to find a woman who is married to a bank robber who has committed a robbery at some point in the past, and there's $400,000 at stake that they're trying to move and fence, and or there's an organized crime involved because apparently they fronted the robbery, and the husband basically betrayed them and ran off with the money. The police get involved. So, again, this is very much one of these, I'm a detective, I'm dog-eared, I'm, this, that, and the other, all forces are against me type of plot. That, again, it takes a while to get to it. Like when the film is just under 2 hours. It is at the 45-minute mark where the script actually says this money is the result of a bank robbery. So depending on how much you can kind of flow with just vibes, that might be a little frustrating.
Yeah.
For people who kind of want the plot. I just said it. I think Robert Culp and Bill Cosby, obviously, who were the selling point for this film, who worked for years on I Spy. And they were great on I Spy. I Spy was one of my early favorite rerun shows. And you think about them on I Spy, God bless you.
Thank you.
And they're like, super sexy, super handsome, super charismatic. Like you look at them, they're all angles.
Yep.
And
They're always put together.
Always put together, just pristine. And then, of course, historically, the selling point of I Spy was you had this black man and this white man who were partners.
Equals.
This is not I Spy Robert Culp and Bill Cosby. Like, they're a little older, just chronologically. And again, they are threadbare. They are to a certain degree slovenly. Robert Culp's Boggs is basically a drunk. He has this amazingly toxic, fraught relationship with his ex-wife, who was a dancer, who he's trying to kind of put together. Bill Cosby's Hickey is brooding and angry. And he also has this fraught relationship with, I believe, his ex-wife. Because it was never clear to me, was this his ex-wife or his girlfriend? Wife played by Rosalind Cash. And they have this really volatile, crazy relationship. And it's jarring seeing these two actors together playing these roles. In a lot of ways, it reminded me of the Charlton Heston films that I love from this period, not just because they're science fiction films, but because you have this actor that sort of had this marquee sheen about them, but now it's the 70s. Okay. And they're kind of, again, little worn. And it is again, jarring. And the Bill Cosby thing, you and I were talking a bit last week when the episode was over. I am eternally fascinated by Bill Cosby's pre-Cosby Show career, because obviously you think about Bill Cosby as a comedian, like certainly he got on television because he had gotten the success because of his albums. But once he gets on television, like when you look project to project, he has this period where he kind of oscillates between comedy and not comedy. For every sort of Bill Cosby is telling some jokes. He's in a movie called Man and Boy. He's in this, which we're talking about, tonight. If you go back and look at episodes of the Bill Cosby Show, where he's Chet Kincaid, it's not ha ha, jokey joke, laugh laugh.
It almost plays like one of the, quote unquote comedies of today.
Right. Right. Like it's very low key.
Low key.
And then in this
is not comedy.
He does not tell any jokes. In fact, there's a moment an hour in where he finally has a nice moment with Rosalind Cash. And he's got this weird thing that he does with his face. And I said, what is he doing right now? And I said, oh, he's smiling.
Right, right.
Like it's the only time that he smiles.
The entire movie.
And the movie lets you know if something has made him smile, this situation is going to end badly. And then it does. So that I was fascinated by Bill Cosby's performance. Again, he's sort of moody. He's brooding. There, he has some physicality. Like there's this great moment where he's running. So that, I landed on liking it. But I have to say, I think I was more fascinated by it than I would say I liked it.
Yeah, see, I think it is fascinating because this is Robert Culp's first feature film directing. The only other thing he had directed was a documentary before this. And he wasn't the first choice for directing it. A matter of fact, Walter Hill wrote this with Jason Robards and Strother Martin in mind. Couldn't get them. Basically had to settle for Cosby and Culp.
Right, because they're not hot stars.
They're not hot stars.
Yeah, they're not hot.
Because I Spy has come and gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And which when we talked about, where they were at this time, specifically Bill Cosby having I Spy come and gone, at this point, I think at least one of his sitcoms is, it may have been the Bill Cosby Show.
Right.
Come and gone.
Right, had that pulled.
He was still a comedian, but as far as his mark in Hollywood, he's trying to find himself a little bit. He's trying to see where he can make a mark. He's got a friendship with Robert Culp. Robert Culp is able to talk them into letting him direct the film, because that's the only way he's going to star in the film. And thus you've got the two of them doing this film. And it's fascinating because
just point of clarification, the Bill Cosby Show has gone off.
Right. It
ended. Then the new Cosby Show comes on this year and then goes off immediately.
That's the variety show, the new Cosby Show. Because it only lasts like a couple of months, right? 72 to 73, I think, or something like that.
Right. Because Cos is the variety show.
Oh, so that's the one that they've gone off.
No, the new Bill. So he had two variety shows.
He's trying to find it.
To your point.
He is trying to find a lane.
Absolutely.
Right? He's trying to, parlay whatever success he had on television, see if he can make that in movies. He's always got, at the end of the day, he can always go to the stage.
Right.
He's still a headlining comedian, wherever he goes, especially in Vegas. So he's got that going for him. Robert Culp, as an actor, after I Spy, doing some bit roles here and there, doesn't really make it into the movies because Robert Culp, as much as we like Robert Culp, he again, talking about these $3 versions of people.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a $3, like what, Robert Stack? Or $3 name white guy.
I mean, I think he's a TV guy. Like I think
he
Robert
very much
Culp
is a TV
very
guy.
much a TV guy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because Robert Stack was the Untouchables guy.
Yeah.
So both of these guys are trying to find their lane. So they see this opportunity with Walter Hill, who is not Walter Hill at this moment. So, let's make this happen. And this is an opportunity to maybe change, perceptions of us in this darker film. And you put the word on it. It is fascinating. It's fascinating to see Robert Culp as an actor from a directorial point of view. Robert Culp as an actor is somebody who I enjoy ironically. I don't think he's a great actor, but I think he's someone who thinks he's a great actor.
Oh, that's interesting.
He has he's got a lot of William Shatner to me. Like and that when he acts, he's always trying to like look busy, twerking his heads here and there, keeping his hands busy. And I thought it was very interesting from a directing point of view that a lot of this, we've talked about it before, a lot of first-time directors, a lot of close-ups, a lot of three-quarter shots, a lot of close-ups. And this movie is a lot of close-ups.
Yes.
And if you follow, especially a lot of the close-ups that he does of him, a lot of them start low, and then work your way up so that you can see, like, he is somebody who always kind of like acts with his body. Well, now he's directing. I've got an opportunity to show you what I've been doing all these years with my hands and my feet because my whole body is acting, baby. Now you can check it out. And that is on display in a lot of the singular scenes that he is in. There's one scene where we eventually learn, ending the night with a prostitute.
Yes.
But the whole scene starts at his shoes and then works his way up to his hands as he's fiddling it with the money and touches stuff around the room and then counting the money. It's all about seeing, the acting, the great acting that he is displaying, right? But
I like that scene though.
But to your point, it's well shot. The camera work is well done, and it's an interesting scene. The problem with it, as in a lot of this movie, and it's indicative of a first-time director, all these close-ups don't really give you any space. It doesn't set up a room. It doesn't set up a scene, and thus the mood, you have to interpret the mood or what you want the scene to tell you, because it's not, or the scene is literally telling you in the words, and not so much not trusting the storytelling of everything coalescing. You talk about how this has the sheen and it looks like it's like one of those LA, procedurals of the time. That's because of the film stock that it's using, and it is presented in kind of like that flat television type of perspective. But if you really think about it, there are very few scenes that actually set up LA. You only know you're in LA because sometimes you see LAPD on the close-ups of cop cars that are running around. So I kept feeling like this movie is not giving me a sense of place. Some of the scenes feel like really rushed or like they're choppy. There's a scene where Bill Cosby walks down to the beach and talks to he's like interrogating some guy down there on the beach for absolutely no reason at all. That scene is intercut with 2 other scenes so that it's broken up into like 4 different bunches that none of the bunches are delivering any individual piece of information. It's all one scene delivering one piece of information that has just been cut into 4s for absolutely no reason. And I found that a little bit annoying, but I'm trying to give it a pass because it's his first time, it's whatever. Like you said, it's Walter Hill's first rodeo. So I'm trying to give that a pass. The biggest problem with this movie, though, is Bill Cosby and Robert Culp. They do have chemistry with one another. It makes sense. They worked together for so long. They're great friends. But I always got the sense that in this movie, they're trying so hard not to be charismatic that it just comes across as just dour for dour's sake. It doesn't feel like they're actually these weary detectives. It sounds like they're playing weary because I just don't feel. I don't believe them. I don't believe them. I get the sense, and it's honestly not because I'm looking for it, but I almost get the sense watching them. Every line reading, I'm waiting for the snide remark right after what they say. And you could almost see them biting their tongue not to say it in almost every scene. And that became like a little trying to me because I understand that it's not what they want to do, but you can still give us a little bit of it to infuse your character with some authenticity. Your character is just so one note. It just became like annoying. And they're horrible detectives. And I don't mean as far as like, they're weary. They're bad cops.
Yeah.
Like they just fall, they might as well be Clouseau. They fall ass backwards into clues.
Right.
Like the entire freaking movie.
Well, I think that was kind of what they were going for. Like again,
but see, you think that's what they're going for, but yet then there are scenes where they're in the middle of a shootout, and it's always happens in almost every shootout. The hero is being pinned down by gunfire.
Yeah.
And then you see the hero like hold the gun, they load up fresh bullets, and then and then they're going to take the aim and take the big shot. That happened 4 times in this movie.
Yeah, but they missed 3 times. Like I actually love the fact that they kept setting it up. Like this is the moment, and then they miss. And then the script actually, at one point Boggs says, I need a bigger gun because I can't seem to hit nothing.
That was annoying. One time I'll give you. 3 times, Vincent. And then the one time when he does hit something, it don't mean nothing. He don't hit he just hits the window.
But see, I think that was deliberate. I mean, they kept saying...
No, it obviously was deliberate.
Right. None of this means anything. I think they were trying to make it so bleak and so down.
It's trying too hard.
It is.
It's trying too hard.
It's funny because that little bit of snap that you're talking about, Walter Hill hits it 10 years later in 48 hours.
Oh, of course. And honestly, no, he hits it in 48 hours, but he hits it not long after this in The Getaway.
I was in the same year.
Right.
I was just about to say The Getaway is snappier.
Yeah, it just doesn't play. And you talk about like Robert Culp's fraught relationship with the girlfriend or ex-wife, and Bill Cosby's relationship with his ex-wife and all that. A lot of that is window dressing. I don't feel like you see it on display. It's kind of like just told to you.
Well,
I don't think it's well acted.
I think it is. Well, I like Bill Cosby and Rosalind Cash. Yeah, I like them together.
I don't think. Rosalind Cash is wasted in this movie.
I mean, Rosalind Cash is a woman in this movie, which is what I was just about to say. Like every woman character in this film But in a lot of ways, I think that
including the one that they're searching for. Does she even say a line in the movie?
Again, I think so many of these films, and I think this film is an example of it, where you have to, if like you have this, you have this challenge where these sort of hard men, these hard-boiled men, their real relationship is with each other.
Yeah.
Because we've seen things and we know about things, and no one really understands me like my partner.
I get that.
But then you can't be gay. So we also have to establish that we are heterosexual men.
And not only that, we also have to establish that is us and not women, bitches.
Right.
All women are bitches.
Well, there's this really, talking about this being more interesting than good. Like, I do think there's this fascinating sort of gendered, sort of sexualized reading to this, where you talked about the guy that Hickey initially interviews, who's on the beach looking at the kids,
which is a very weird scene.
Well, they are setting up that he is sexually deviant, and then when Hickey goes and talks to Boggs, and he calls him Sweet Lips, which now he's implying he's gay, and he's very effeminate. And then at one point, Rosalind Cash's character actually says to Hickey, she refers to Boggs as a gay slur. So this kind of subtext that you see in a lot of these movies, where again we have to show that we're heterosexual men because the real relationship, the real emotional attachment is with this other man, is also part of the text. Like, it's not subtext anymore. Now it's actual text. But to your point, it's almost like we have to do this. Like, I gotta show this woman, otherwise people will get other ideas, but I'm not that invested in it. So we've got we've got a femme fatale who never actually says anything, who ends up dead. Spoiler. We've got
there ain't no spoiler.
Right.
Everybody dies in this movie.
You got a stripper girlfriend who never actually says anything except go kill yourself.
Right.
And then the one woman that I do think it's worth noting that the one actual complicated male-female relationship you see in here is between the two black people. And then she does not end well.
No, she doesn't.
It really is.
Everybody dies.
Everybody
What's
dies.
This? Macbeth.
But again, I think the thing about Bill Cosby is that you have this performer who clearly people were invested in, because they kept giving him bites of that. Like, how does he have 2 variety shows in 2 years on television?
Well, also you got to think about it. He is at this moment one of the leading black entertainers.
I know, but I do think when you look at what's actually on his filmography, part of this is chicken, part of this is egg. Like, he's one of the most successful black entertainers, so he has this sort of institutional support from Hollywood. But is he also he's gotten this institutional support from Hollywood, which makes him one of the most successful entertainers. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like once we just said it, once you get past I Spy, the Bill Cosby Show was a solid project.
Yeah, but it didn't last long.
I mean, the Bill Cosby Show with Chet Kincaid.
That's Chet Kincaid.
Right. The one
Would that run 2 years, 3 years, maybe?
So it was like, 69 to 71. 69 to
2 years.
71. But when you really look at Bill Cosby's television projects, there's nothing huge. I mean, maybe Fat Albert. Like
I was going to say, here's the thing about,
he does the electric company and stuff. But it really is not until the Cosby Show.
It's not till the Cosby Show that he blows up.
But he keeps getting projects
Because one, Fat Albert is an ongoing concern. It's not going to get him but so many projects, but it keeps his face out there.
Okay.
And two, he is in Vegas doing shows all the time. He's showing up on the Carson show. He's guest hosting actually on the Carson show a few times as well.
But that's more chicken egg stuff. I mean, obviously.
But I'm saying, that's why you still get the projects. That's why people still want to bank on you.
But what I'm saying is there were people similarly talented as Bill Cosby. Obviously, I don't think many people were as talented, but similarly talented. Like the guest hosting spot on the Tonight Show, frankly, was maybe half talent.
Of course.
But the other half was sponsorship. Like there are voices in the room, there are people at the table who bring up your name.
Yeah.
And I'm saying Bill Cosby was always one of those entertainers.
He is.
So that he kept getting all of these different types of bites. And then the fact that he is supremely talented. You can give him different bites.
You can give him different bites. The other thing you got to remember is around this time, he is the person that you can put. Let's put it. Call it what it is. They feeling safe with him.
Well,
because because they took a chance on Fred Sanford, on Red Fox,
right.
And lo and behold, they've got a hit. So now they're stuck with Red.
Yeah, that's lightning in a bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
So they can't do anything with Red because they've got a huge hit. Richard Pryor is like he's setting torch, unfortunately, to his own career.
Right. And he's never going to be on television. Like there's nothing about him that says he's going to be on television.
But even at the time when people maybe want to take a shot on him, his addiction is getting in his way.
Sure.
He becomes unbankable to a degree, except on himself.
Right.
So the only other performer really to try and maybe get some black eyes on him is Cosby.
I mean, is there anyone outside of the what's my man's name? Jefferson's, Good Times, everything.
George Jefferson, Sherman Hemsley.
No, I'm talking about the creator.
Oh, Norman
Lear. Is there any black entertainer that's not under the Norman Lear umbrella on television besides Bill Cosby during the 70s?
None that I can think of. Because, well, I mean, technically, I guess like what's happening is not under.
Yeah, but that's all intertwined.
It's all in
like he was like a producer or yeah.
But yeah, no, not really. You're right.
I mean, think about that. And again, they kept giving Bill Cosby shows
because he's the name,
right? But my point is,
you can't force Sydney.
It's fascinating that he's got all this random, bizarro stuff that's sort of out there. And for me, this very much fits into that. This sort of random, bizarro Bill Cosby stuff that he's doing before. And as we talked about, his real saving grace quietly is he grows that beard and makes Uptown Saturday Night. Mm-hmm. And
now he's got a little.
Right, now he's got this little pocket.
Movie stroke.
Right.
Why didn't... We're off on other stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Why didn't they do anything with Flip Wilson? His show was one of the number one shows at the time.
I think Flip... look...
I mean, I do think talent-wise, he's maybe... Not quite.
I was never that impressed with Flip Wilson, frankly, me neither. And even the Flip Wilson show, I think he was right place, right time.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Like he was right with the changing of the guard. And because he was black, you could kind of hedge your bets a little bit. Like Flip Wilson was like Sammy Davis Jr. without the talent. So that he was sort of part of the old guard, but you could kind of dress him up hip, kind of make him hip. So like you would have an episode that could have like Mahalia Jackson and like Slime the Family Stone
on the Flip Wilson show.
Flip Wilson show. And like when you look at those episodes, you have those weird combinations. It'd be like Ray Charles and Joe Namath, and they'll be on the same show. And Flip Wilson just kind of
vacillated between the
right.
two.
He was almost like he was like a hip Ed Sullivan almost.
I think you're doing him a little injustice there.
When you think
Ed Sullivan was absolutely no talent.
No. I'm just talking about the dude who, again, I kind of hold it all together.
Maybe a way lower Johnny Carson.
I was about to say that. Maybe what you just said.
Yeah.
Almost a version of Johnny Carson.
A way lesser
But
degree
when you
Johnny
take
Carson.
Flip Wilson out of that context, I don't know, and I honestly don't know. Like because I've never been that interested in Flip Wilson anything to even investigate Flip Wilson. Like as I'm sitting here talking, I'm not quite sure where Flip Wilson came from. Was he on Laugh-In?
I think he did. I think for some reason I do think he was in Laugh-In. No, I don't know. I don't know where he came from.
Because Here Comes the Judge.
That was Sammy Davis. But
Or
Flip Wilson
that's
did
from
it at
Pig
the time.
Meat Markham, I think.
Right.
That's Pig Meat Markham. Like, was Flip Wilson on like where does Flip Wilson like what happens that leads to let's give Flip Wilson a
show.
variety show?
Well, he's a stand-up.
It was a lot of stand-ups.
Okay, but sometimes sometimes stand-ups. There are tons of stand-ups that get jobs. I mean, Jerry Seinfeld was a stand-up before he got a job.
No.
So
No, again, it's lots of stand-ups. Some of them get a tap, some of them don't get a tap. Like, we're talking about Flip Wilson, but now you said why didn't they do more with Flip Wilson than Bill Cosby? I think Bill Cosby was a combination of infinitely talented and sponsorship. So we're going to keep giving you a tap. Okay, you're going to have a variety show. Okay, you're going to have a dramedy. Okay, you're going to be in a romantic lead. You're going to be a romantic lead. Okay, you're going to be a comedian. Okay, you're going to be, do all this stuff until something sticks. You looking up Flip Wilson?
yeah. An unexpected break came in 1965 for Flip Wilson, when comedian Red Fox was a guest on The Tonight Show, and Johnny Carson asked him who the funniest comedian at the time was, and Red Fox answered Flip Wilson. Johnny Carson then booked Flip Wilson to appear on The Tonight Show, and Wilson became a favorite guest on that as well as The Ed Sullivan Show. Wilson himself singled out Sullivan as providing his biggest career boost. He also made guest appearances on Here's Lucy, The Dean Martin Show, and Laugh-In. Richard Pryor told Flip that you're the only performer that I've ever seen who goes on the stage and the audience hopes that you like them. And he would release a Grammy Award-winning album in 1970, The Devil Made Me Buy This Dress, which did give way to him getting his own weekly variety series, The Flip Wilson Show, which ran from 1970 to 74.
Yeah.
So that's how he gets his start.
Yeah, but after that,
I
feel like he may have been one of those dudes also who stepped away. I feel like I remember something about him. He may have been a I'm stepping away dude.
I don't see anything about that.
Because does he have anything between the Flip Wilson Show and Charles in Charge? I mean, not Charles in Charge. It's what is it? Charles and Company. What's his Cosby Show?
Well, after
Take off.
74, he acted in Uptown Saturday Night,
Of course.
The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Oh, I forgot he was in that.
He appeared as the fox in a television musical adaptation of Pinocchio.
Okay.
And then he made an appearance on The Love Boat.
Of course.
He hosted a revival of People Are Funny. And then in 1985, 86, he does Charles and Company.
Yeah, Charles and Company.
Yeah, so I don't see anything about him stepping away.
Okay.
I don't see anything about him stepping away here.
Yeah. Flip Wilson.
Here we go. He was married twice. In 1957, he married Lavinia Wilson. Mm-hmm. They divorced in 1967. He had 4 children with his common-law wife, Blonell Pittman, and after winning custody of them in 1979, he performed less in order to spend time with them.
Yeah, I thought there was something about him. But, regardless, Flip Wilson, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, like Bill Cosby is a tried and true brand. Like we can stick you in stuff.
Yeah.
And see what happens. And again, as I said, I am endlessly fascinated by Bill Cosby in this weird shit that you see. Like I said, something like this. He don't smile. He don't make no joke. He just sort of is brooding. And to your point, I do think maybe part of it was them trying so hard to separate themselves from the I Spy slickness.
Yeah.
So
all the way down to their frumpiness.
yeah.
So with that being said, would you recommend Hickey and Boggs?
I don't know if I would. I don't know what I would. And unless you're like me. And frankly, if you're like me, you go watch Man and Boy, which is the cowboy movie that he makes, which is also more interesting than good.
Then why watch that then?
Well, I watched it, man. Just I guess maybe watch this then.
Why watch either?
Oh, because I do think it's
If you're not on the mission.
right. Well, I do think it is. Unfortunately, his legacy is what his legacy is because of his own actions. But you can't deny that the man is one of the most important and influential American performers of the late 20th century. Like you can't, that's just 100% true.
You can't deny that, and
So-
yet I don't think that means that you have to visit
You don't necessarily
every piece of his work.
True.
Including Hickey and Boggs. I could not recommend this movie
Okay.
at all. Like you said, there are LA procedurals, which will give you pretty much a lot of the same vibe. If you want to see some, down and dirty, gritty type of, action revenge type of thing. This is 1972. Wait, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming your way with Fred Williamson in almost every one of his movies. So,
What year's the Split?
The Split is actually before this.
Oh, okay.
The Split is like late 60s.
Okay.
Like 68, 69.
Yeah.
And do not compare this to The Split.
I mean, I'm thinking gritty L.A.
Yeah, but the Split is not really gritty. The Split is slick.
Yeah.
The Split is slick caper film.
Right,
Don't you dare.
I'm thinking about the kind of movie that like Quentin Tarantino in 1983 was in his video store watching.
He wasn't watching Hickey and Boggs.
You know what? I would bet you $1 American Quentin Tarantino has a very informed opinion of Hickey and Boggs.
You can have an informed opinion. That doesn't mean he's got it on rotation in the video store.
No. He definitely had it on rotation.
Hickey and Boggs? No.
Quietly, when you look up the criticism of this, it's a bit of a cult favorite.
Okay.
Like there's a vein of hipster movie guy who likes this.
Yeah.
So, Quentin Tarantino as the patron saint of
Of
hipster
these
movie guy.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Oh,
maybe.
you fool around, this will be at the Austin
What? What's that? It's Southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
No. Anyway, I cannot recommend. I can not recommend Hickey and Boggs. Stay away, ladies and gentlemen. Stay far away from this movie.
I mean, it's not that real.
Because it's a downer.
No, it is a downer.
It's a downer. I mean, why
bleak.
do it to yourself, man?
It's pretty bleak.
It's bleak. It is bleak as hell.
Pretty bleak. It does end with a bunch of dead bodies, fire, and Bill Cosby saying nothing matters at all.
And then he walks off into the sunset.
He walks off on the beach with Robert Culp. Stuff is on fire. It's dead bodies everywhere.
Dead bodies and people burning.
It's a suitcase with $400,000 that no one can do anything with. He says all that, and the police didn't even come. And they're all because no one cares. And it's like, because nothing matters. It's pretty bleak.
Yeah, don't waste your time, ladies.
I actually changed my mind. I like it.
You can like it,
Yeah.
but you're not recommending it.
I am recommending it. I've changed my mind. I recommend it.
Please don't.
It's bleak.
Don't.
It is.
Don't.
It is
Don't do that
pitch
to the
black.
missionaries. If you never listened to me before, listen to me now. I beseech you. Stay away from Hickey and Boggs. Go see Nuns That Bite. Stay away from Hickey and Boggs.
Oh boy, he went to lunch with Rosalind Cash and she made him smile. I said, "Oh well, there you go. I think I'll turn it off because clearly they're going to live happily ever after."
Yeah, as soon as she says, "I'll be waiting for you when you get home."
Isabel Sanford shows up and calls him a son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I knew you weren't worth anything when you showed up. It's like, wow, Isabel Sanford, this is all you're here for? To yell at him?
And why is he sitting there while his daughter is mowing the lawn?
Because they're in mourning. And they're
So
in
she's
shock,
mowing the lawn
as one does.
as he's just sitting there?
Just sitting there, and Isabel Sanford just busts out the house.
And
Why
then-
are you here, you son of a bitch?
And then when the daughter starts to cry, that's when he notices, says, "Oh, baby."
it is bleak.
God. Stay away. Please, stay away. All right, before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Micheaux Mission, I invite you to follow us on all the social media of your choice, whether it be Instagram, X, Facebook, at Micheaux Mission. You can also subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on YouTube at Micheaux Mission. Hit the bell, subscribe, be notified of when we put up new videos. We just put up the greatest top 5 ever. Top 5 Brothers in Soul is up there. Yes. We also put up a video where a listener asked us to find a rom-com date for Halle Berry. That was a fun conversation as well.
Yeah.
So check that out on YouTube. We got new videos going up there all the time, including our fabulous shorts that are narrated by Vincent and I, but edited by Dylan. Right here in Young Junk. And if you want to work with Dylan, ladies and gentlemen, in one of the fabulous studios that they have here at Young Junk, email him at dylan@youngjunk.com. That's DYLAN at youngjunk.com, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. It's right here in the studios in our new setting. They're getting them all set up. They are gorgeous. I walked in, I said, "Oh, Dylan's been working hard in this place. It looks fantastic in here." So make it happen. Make it so. The Micheaux Mission is also a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work such as ours, which you can reach by sending us an email at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUX MISSION@gmail.com. Before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week, I invite you, if you're in the Philadelphia area or coming to the Philadelphia area, or hell, if you just saying, I want to see Len and Vince, you've got a chance to check us out, ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday, March 20th, where Vincent and I will be partnering with our good friend Stephanie Watts of the Be Real Black Cinema Club and presenting a live screening of one of my top 10 favorite films of all time, Pariah from 2011, screening on the huge, beautiful screen at Bryn Mawr Film Institute in lovely Bryn Mawr, PA. This is the kickoff of the Be Real Micheaux screening series that will be going on all year long at Bryn Mawr Film Institute, brought to you by the League of American Historic Theaters, who we are very proud and happy to team up with in presenting this screening series for you. Check it out. Pariah, Wednesday, March 20th, 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale right now at brynmarfilm.org. All right.
All right.
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Micheaux Mission, we gave you a bit of a downer this week. It was a little downer.
Nothing matters.
Nothing mattered.
Nothing matters.
So we thought we'd change it up just a wee bit and give you a good downer from 1972. It's Cecily Tyson in Sounder.
Yeah, yeah.
Let that sink in. That rollicking, fantastic romp that we know is, which I have actually never seen.
You've never seen
I've
Sounder.
never seen Sounder.
You know why? Because you saw the learning tree and you thought you saw Sounder.
You're absolutely
Look,
right.
I know. I know. I
You're
know.
100% right.
I know.
So I'm looking forward to seeing Sounder.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've heard nothing but good things.
Paul Winfield.
Paul Winfield, a young Kevin Hooks.
Young Kevin Hooks, that's right.
Cecily Tyson in one of her signature roles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So Sounder. And from the same year as Hickey and Boggs.
There you go. A lot going on in 72.
Next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Vincent, I'm Len. And in parting, we say,
We'll see you when it's time to meet again.